They called her traumatic until the sergeant recognized her last name.
What would you do if the people who raised you thought you were faking the worst pain of your life? That's the question I keep replaying. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates, because at 8:47 p.m., under the flickering fluorescent lights of St. Mary's emergency room, I was folded in half in a plastic chair, pressing my palm into the lower right side of my stomach, trying not to cry. And my mom leaned over and whispered,
"Lily, stop overreacting. You're embarrassing us."
Overreacting. Meanwhile, my temperature was 101.8. My hands were shaking. Every bump of movement felt like someone twisting a knife inside me. But here's the part that made it worse. 3 weeks earlier, my parents had spent $8,400 fixing my brother Ethan's Mustang after he wrapped it around a mailbox. No lectures about money, no sighs about unnecessary expenses, just boys make mistakes. Tonight, my dad was complaining about the ER copay.
Do you know how much this is going to cost?
He muttered, scrolling through his phone. I just stayed quiet. Because in my family, Ethan was the investment. I was the exaggerator. The nurse at triage asked me to rate my pain from 1 to 10. 8, I whispered. My mom cut in.
She means 4. She has a low tolerance.
Have you ever felt invisible in your own life? Like your voice needed someone else's permission to exist? They took my blood. My white count came back high. The nurse's expression shifted slightly. Not dramatic, just alert. A CT scan was ordered. My parents sighed like this was a waste of everyone's time. They were missing dinner reservations. Ethan was texting jokes in the group chat about me being allergic to responsibility. Then the surgeon walked in. Mid-30s, calm, focused. His badge read, Dr. Adrian Morales. He didn't say much at first. He just pulled up my scan, and I watched his face change. His eyes narrowed, his jaw tightened. The room went quiet in a way that didn't feel normal. He stared at the screen for a long time. Then he slowly turned around and looked at my parents.
"You're her parents?"
He asked. And that's when my mother finally stopped talking. But what he said next would split that room wide open.
Hold on, high fever, white count over 17,000, and they are still calling her dramatic? Either something is missing here, or they ignored obvious signs. What did they overlook?
If you had waited another 6 hours...
Dr. Morales didn't finish the sentence right away. He just looked at my parents, and I swear I've never seen two people go from annoyed to uncomfortable that fast. My mom forced a tight smile.
"Doctor, she's always been sensitive. We didn't think it was..."
It's acute appendicitis.
He said calmly, too calmly.
And it's advanced.
Advanced. That word didn't sound dramatic. It sounded clinical, final. My dad straightened up.
So, antibiotics?
Dr. Morales shook his head once.
No. Surgery. Immediately.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever watched someone realize they were wrong, but they're still trying to defend themselves? Because that's exactly what I saw. My mom crossed her arms. She was fine this morning. I wasn't. I woke up nauseous. By noon, I couldn't stand up straight. By 3, every step felt like glass under my skin. But I didn't say anything because in our house, pain was competition, and Ethan always won. Broken wrist during football? Hero. Sprained ankle at track practice? Walk it off, Lily. Back in the ER, the nurse rechecked my vitals. My heart rate was 112. My abdomen was rigid on the right side. When the doctor pressed down gently, I nearly screamed. Rebound tenderness. That's what he called it. You know what that means? It means when pressure is released, the pain gets worse. A classic appendicitis sign. Not drama, not exaggeration, textbook. My white blood cell count had come back at 17,300. Normal is under 11,000. Dr. Morales turned the screen toward my parents.
This
He said, pointing to the cloudy area on the scan.
is inflammation. And this fluid here suggests it's close to rupturing.
Close to rupturing. My dad's face lost color. But here's what stunned me. Instead of apologizing, my mom said,
"She didn't look that sick."
Didn't look that sick. What does sick look like? Crying louder? Collapsing sooner? Bleeding visibly? Dr. Morales' expression changed then. Not anger, not exactly, something else. He studied my parents for a long second, and then he asked, quieter this time,
How long did she say she was in pain?
silence, because they hadn't really asked. And that's when the atmosphere in that room shifted in a way I didn't understand yet, but I would very soon.
Okay, elemental white counts, rebound tenderness, surgery immediately, and they are still minimizing it? That sounds crazy. Are they in denial or hiding something?
He didn't blink. That's what I remember most. Dr. Morales turned back to the CT monitor, scrolling through the cross-sectional images slowly, methodically, slice by slice, gray and black shadows mapping out my insides like some kind of secret blueprint. The room felt smaller.
Since this afternoon.
My mom finally answered, her voice thinner now.
She said it started after lunch.
Dr. Morales didn't respond immediately. He zoomed in, click, scroll, pause.
If it started after lunch,
He said evenly.
then it progressed very quickly.
Progressed. That word again. Calm, controlled, but heavy. Let me ask you something. Do you know how fast appendicitis can turn dangerous? Sometimes 24 hours, sometimes less. And once it ruptures, bacteria spill into the abdominal cavity. That's when sepsis becomes a real possibility. Not dramatic, not rare, real. My dad shifted his weight.
So we caught it in time.
Dr. Morales' jaw tightened slightly.
You caught it close.
Close. He pointed to the screen again.
There's periappendiceal fluid here. That suggests it's on the verge of perforation.
Perforation, rupture. Words that suddenly made my mother grip her purse like it might steady her. But here's where things got strange. Dr. Morales leaned closer to the screen. His eyes narrowed. Not at the appendix this time, at my name, Lily Carter. His expression changed in a way I couldn't quite place. Recognition? Calculation? He glanced at my father.
Mark Carter?
He asked. My dad frowned slightly.
Yeah?
A pause. Not long, but long enough.
You grew up in Brookdale, correct?
Now my mom looked confused.
Yes? Why?
Dr. Morales didn't answer that question. Instead, he turned fully toward them.
You're her parents?
He repeated. Same words, different tone. Not disbelief, something sharper. And for the first time that night, my father didn't have anything to say. Because whatever Dr. Morales had just realized, it wasn't about my appendix anymore.
Okay, good up. It's advanced, close to rupturing, and now he recognizes that shift wasn't random. Is this just medical urgency or something personal?
6 hours. That's how long he said it would have taken.
Another 6 hours.
Dr. Morales continued, his voice steady but firm.
And this likely would have ruptured.
Likely. Such a small word for something that could have turned deadly. The air in the room felt heavier now. Not irritated, not impatient. Heavy.
With rupture,
He added.
comes a much higher risk of peritonitis, infection spreading through the abdominal cavity, sepsis, ICU stay, weeks of recovery instead of days.
Weeks. My mom's fingers trembled slightly around her purse strap. My dad cleared his throat.
But she's going to be okay? If we operate now.
Dr. Morales replied.
Yes.
No drama, no lecture, just facts. And that somehow made it worse. Consent forms appeared out of nowhere. Papers slid across clipboards, words like laparoscopic appendectomy, general anesthesia, surgical risk. My parents signed quickly, suddenly decisive, suddenly protective. Isn't it strange how urgency changes people? 30 minutes ago, I was overreacting. Now I was being rushed toward an operating room under fluorescent lights that felt colder than before. As they wheeled me down the hallway, a nurse leaned in gently.
You're lucky he's on call tonight.
Lucky? Why? I whispered.
He usually handles pediatric trauma cases. He doesn't step in personally unless it's complicated.
Complicated. That word stuck with me. Inside the OR, everything moved with controlled precision. Monitors beeped steadily, stainless steel instruments gleamed under surgical lights. Dr. Morales scrubbed in himself, not delegating, not passing it off. That felt intentional. As the anesthesiologist adjusted my IV, I heard Dr. Morales speaking quietly to a nurse.
Prep quickly.
He said,
We're not giving this time to worsen.
Not giving this time to worsen. Time. 6 hours. That number echoed in my head as the anesthesia pulled me under. And while I was unconscious, something happened outside that operating room, something my parents weren't expecting. Because when Dr. Morales stepped out after surgery, he didn't just give them a medical update. He gave them a reminder, and it hit a lot deeper than they were prepared for.
When someone tells you they're in pain, you listen.
That's what Dr. Morales said. Not loudly, not emotionally, just clearly. I woke up in recovery with a dull ache in my abdomen and the steady beep of a monitor beside me. The surgery had gone smoothly. Laparoscopic, 3 small incisions, appendix removed before rupture.
Another hour or two,
The nurse told me softly.
and it would have been a very different situation.
A very different situation. Outside my curtain, I could hear my parents' voices, hushed now. No irritation, no complaints about cost, just quiet. Later, I learned what happened while I was under anesthesia. Dr. Morales had stepped into the consultation room, removed his surgical cap, and looked directly at my father.
It was inflamed and close to perforation.
He said.
We got it out in time.
My dad exhaled in relief, but the conversation didn't end there.
You grew up in Brookdale.
Dr. Morales continued.
Brookdale High, class of 2003.
My father blinked.
Yeah.
I was class of 2006.
Silence.
My family lived off Ridgeway Avenue.
He added.
You used to call me Scholarship Kid.
The room went very still. He didn't say it with anger. He didn't say it for revenge, just as a fact.
And tonight,
He said evenly.
your daughter wasn't overreacting. She was hours away from a surgical emergency that could have turned life-threatening.
No lecture, no raised voice, just truth. Just truth. I don't know what my parents said after that, but when they came into my recovery room, something was different. My mom held my hand longer than usual. My dad avoided my eyes. For the first time, no one questioned my pain. So let me ask you something. How many people get told they're exaggerating until the evidence forces everyone to listen? Sometimes the person who sees you clearly isn't the one who raised you. Sometimes it's the one who studied long enough to recognize what others ignored. If you've ever been told you were too sensitive or overreacting, I want you to remember this story. And if someone tells you they're hurting, believe them, because 6 hours can change everything.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.